Unmute your microphone, Lyric and Alison. Let's do the greeting. Hello, Venerable Sir, together.
Hello, Venerable Sir.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Are we still waiting for someone?
Meditation.
Or
did meditation earlier.
Did some people leave, or are we still waiting for somebody?
This is everybody.
This is everybody. Okay. But I think we are actually missing someone, right?
Yeah, we are actually missing Timbo.
Yes, and we are missing one young lady. Very young lady.
Yamona, yes.
Yamona, yes.
Yamona,
that's right.
Yes. They're not here.
All right. So you have all finished meditation. So now we'll look at the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. We did 3 refuges and 5 precepts last week. Do you remember? Okay. Yes. Nice. Daniel has the paper. So let's look at it right away.
Recording in progress.
All right. So I will repeat the meaning so that everyone is clear what's going on. So first of all, I will ask you to repeat after me. So I use for that the Pali words. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. I use vadetha because you are many people. If you are just one single person, I would say vadehi. But vadetha is used for many people. So I say Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Whatever I say, you say. That you say. And you just reply Ama Bhante. Ama means yes. Bhante means Venerable Sir. So you can please unmute everyone and keep your hands together at the chest. And you can and we can now do this together. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. And you reply Ama Bhante.
Ama Bhante.
So let's try it again. Yamahang vadami tang vadetha. Excellent. So now, still keep your microphones unmuted. Now we continue to the request. So there you request me to give you the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. And the request is done by repetition. So you are repeating after me. So we will repeat little by little. Please make sure that you listen to my pronunciation very carefully and that you try to pronounce exactly as I pronounce. All right? So this is the pronunciation from Sri Lanka. Okay, we are waiting for Angela. Angela, are you fine?
What?
Is everything okay, Angela?
Yes, my little sister just come into the room and she made a lot of noises.
Okay. Fine. So we can continue. So you can repeat after me. Please make sure that you try to repeat as exactly as possible according to my pronunciation. This is the Sri Lanka pronunciation. Later, I will teach you the Burmese pronunciation at another lesson. Aham Bhante Tisaranena Saha
Saha
Panchasilang
Panchasilang
Dhammang Yajami
Kambayajami
Anuggahang Katva
Anugaha
Silang Detha
Silandetha
Me Bhante
Mebhande
Anukampang
Anukampang
Upadaya
Upadaya
Dutiyampi
Yambi
Aham Bhante
Ahabande
Tisaranena
Visaranena
Saha
Saha
Panchasilang
Panchasila
Dhammang Yajami
Mahamajayami
Anuggahang Katva
Anugaha
Silang Detha
Silandetha
Me Bhante
Mebhande
Anukampang
Anukampa
Upadaya
Upadaya
Tatiyampi
Tatiyam
Aham Bhante
Abande
Tisaranena
Visaranena
Saha
Saha
Panchasilang
Panchasilang
Dhammang Yajami
Mahamajayami
Anuggahang Katva
Anugaha
Silang Detha
Silandetha
Me Bhante
Mebhande
Anukampang
Anukampa
Upadaya.
Upadaya
So now we are going to bow to the Buddha, and that will be done now by word. I hope to explain to you today how to bow down to the Buddha by the 5 rests, also known as what do you call it? Panchapatithena. But we will stay with the English. So 5 rests, and I'll explain that to you later, hopefully today. But now we are going to do it by word. So in word, we say, I bow to him, the powerful one, the one who's worthy of offerings, rightly and fully awakened to the truth. So make sure that your hands are connected at your chest, and you can repeat after me. Please repeat only that, what I say. Do not repeat anything further. Namo
Namo
Tassa
Tassa
Bhagavato
Bhagavato
Arahato
Arahato
Samma
Sambhava
Sambuddhassa
Sambuddhassa
Namo
Namo
Tassa
Tassa
Bhagavato
Bhagavato
Arahato
Arahato
Samma
Samma
Sambuddhassa
Sambuddhassa
Namo
Namo
Tassa
Tassa
Bhagavato
Bhagavato
Arahato
Arahato
Samma
Samma
Sambuddhassa.
Sambuddhassa.
So now come the refuges. So in the refuges, you remind yourself that the Buddha is the direction for you. Dhamma, the Buddha's teachings, is the direction for you. And Sangha, the community of monks, is the direction for you to be happy in this life and to be happy in the next life. So you can repeat after me. Buddhang
Buddhang
Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. So now, because taking the refuges, going for the refuges is complete, you can, I will announce that to you, that they are complete. Saranagamanang paripunnang means going for the refuges is complete. And you will just reply, Ama Bhante, yes, Venerable Sir. So let's do that together. Saranagamanang paripunnang. Yes. So now, please keep your hands. How to say that? Stay keeping your hands connected at your chest. I do not recite the 5 precepts because I follow the monks' rules, which include the 5 precepts. We have much more, but you need to follow the 5 precepts. So please keep your hands together at the chest. And you can repeat after me. The first precept means I follow the rule of refraining from killing living beings. Panatipata. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. The second precept means I follow the precept of refraining from taking what is not given. That means from stealing. So you can repeat after me. Adinadana. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. The third precept means I follow the precept of refraining from sexual misconduct, which means from cheating, from adultery, from being not faithful to husband's wife as a husband, to wife's husband as a wife. So you can repeat after me. Kamesu. Michhachara. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. Okay. The fourth precept means I follow the rule of refraining from false speech. That means from lying, from telling lies. Musavada. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. The last precept means I follow the rule of refraining from drinking alcohol and taking drugs. Sura meraya. Majja. Pamadatthana. Veramani. Sikkhapadang. Samadhiyami. So now I will encourage you all to follow these 5 precepts and protect the 3 refuges, or protect them all and follow them all as best as you can, not just as much as you can, simply perfectly. They need to be followed and protected perfectly whether you can or not. Okay, this is the basics. Everyone needs to follow that, regardless whether they can or not. Must be followed. And be mindful, because it's mindfulness that allows you to follow them. Without mindfulness, it is not possible. What does mindfulness do? Mindfulness allows you, because you are in the present moment, you are watching your mind, so you are fully in mind, full mind, fully in mind, mindful. So as you are mindful, as you're observing the mind fully, you can notice that you want to break one of the 5 precepts before you break it. And because you notice it before you break it, it is possible for you to not break it before you would break it. If you notice while you are breaking it or after you broke it, then it's too late. It is better to notice it before you break it so that you do not break it. Okay? So that's why I encourage you to be mindful. So again, everyone, please make sure your hands are there, connected at the chest, and I will encourage you in the Pali language, and you just reply Ama Bhante, yes, Venerable Sir. So let's do that together. Tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang sadhukang surakhitang katva appamadena sampadetha. Excellent. And now I can wish you, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Okay, so now I will try to make the system so that I can show you the 5 rests. Let's see if that's possible in any way at all.
Recording stopped.
Nice. Seems to be okay. Okay, can you hear me, everyone? Make a little bit more adjustment. Okay, so when we bow to the Buddha, or when we bow to a monk, when we pay respect to a monk, it is good to kneel like this, so everyone can kneel like this. You can do the same as I'm doing. So if you can arrange your place. I do not have to see your body. It's now it's important that you can just follow what I'm doing and that you can hear me well. Lyric, are you ready? Okay. Oh, are you ready? Are you sitting on the floor? Oh, are you sitting on the floor? No, can you please sit on the floor? I do not have to see you. If you just hear me and if you can follow what I do, that's fine for now. Okay, everyone's ready? Seems like we are ready. Daniel is getting ready. Daniel's ready? Fine. So when we pay respect to the Buddha, it is ideal if you can kneel. That's very good, because then it's easier to do it. Some people like to do this while they're sitting in the meditation posture, but it is a little bit more difficult, and I think they didn't do that in the Buddha's time. I think they would always kneel to do this bow. All right. So ideally, you would be kneeling, and we start with the hands at the chest. So we keep the hands at the chest, and then I will first explain. So now just watch and do not follow. Just watch and listen. Later we will do it together. So we keep the hands together, and then we keep the hands together. It is good to keep them at the heart, at the chest. Why exactly we are keeping them at the chest? That's a question I don't know. Because the scriptures, when they speak about keeping hands together, they seem to always imply that they are kept above the head, not on the chest. But it's good to keep them on the chest because it's more comfortable. So if you feel uncomfortable to keep them above the chest and you want to greet, for example, a monk, or you want to pay respect to the Buddha, then it's still fine to keep them at the chest. But always remember that it is better to keep them above your head. So we keep them at the chest. Some people say that this is good for sincerity, that you keeping your hands at the heart leads you or encourages you in sincerity. Whether that's true, I don't know. But that's where we start, and then we will actually start our 5 5 rests by keeping the hands above the head. Please don't follow me yet, I'll just explain for now. We keep the hands above the head, and then we gradually come down with the hands, and look at what I'm doing with my hands. I am approaching my body by my hands. I'm coming closer, closer, closer to the chest, and then I'm going down, you see. Some people, when they pay respect by the 5 rests, they already separate them like this, as if they were doing some magical spell. No, we are not doing that. So we gradually approach our chest by the connected hands, and then we separate them and touch the floor by the palms, elbows, and the forehead. And then we lift the forehead, elbows, and the palms. And then we return to the starting position. Okay, so we can now do that together. We can, so now everyone can keep your hands above the head, and then we gradually go down. We then move our connected hands gradually down all the way until we touch the floor by our palms, elbows, and the forehead. Then we lift the forehead, elbows, palms, and connect them again at the chest. And again, we keep our palms above the head, and we gradually move down to the floor. We touch the floor by our palms, elbows, the forehead, and we again lift the forehead, elbows, and the palms. And then again, we can take our hands above the head, and then we gradually come down all the way until the floor, where we touch the floor by our palms, elbows, forehead, and we lift the forehead, palms, forehead, elbows, and the palms. Okay, so this is the way how we pay respect by the 5 rests. Yasodhara had 10,000 ladies and the prince Siddhartha had 30,000. Is that correct? Does anyone remember? Yes. So what was the relation between Yasodhara and her 10,000 ladies? Who were those 10,000 ladies to her and who was she to them? Anyone has any idea? How would you call it? Hmm. So we would say that she was the chief queen. She was the chief queen, certainly not commander. Yes, Daniel?
I have a question. Isn't she a princess though?
Excuse me?
Isn't she a princess?
Is it? I'm not exactly sure how to understand your question.
Isn't Yashoda a princess?
Yes, she was a princess. We learn about her as a chief queen already before she was married. Already before she was married to Prince Siddhartha, which is a little bit weird, and I don't understand that. And it could be actually a mistake in the book because there is no way how you can be married before being married, right before being married. But and queen implies that she's married to a king. But after she was married to the king, to the prince Siddhartha, then she was a princess. And when she was married to the prince Siddhartha, the prince Siddhartha became a kind of duke, a kind of that's what I call it so far, but there is a better word. He was responsible for the city of Kapilavatthu. So he was the chief, he was the duke, kind of like king, but provincial, provincial king. He's a king of a province, king of a certain portion of a country, not of the whole country. And that was Prince Siddhartha. As the king, we call him the king, and we call her, therefore, the queen. So after Prince Siddhartha became the provincial king of the town, of the city of Kapilavatthu, then we call him the king and we call his wife the queen, because queen is the wife of the king. Or usually queen is a wife of a king. But there are cases when a queen doesn't have to be wife of anyone, because she just was crowned to be the queen because there was no one to marry her, but it was necessary to get her into the rulership, into the kingship, queenship. All right, does anyone remember anything else? No one remembers anything else? Maybe that's because that's all what we went through. So let's move a little. There was yes, we actually did speak about something, but we didn't finish the story. We barely started, so it's a little bit difficult to remember that. Can you all see the text? Yes? Okay, so you see this green underline, that's what we actually read 3 weeks ago. So let's go through that again. The Bodhisattva Prince Siddhartha became the reigning king of Kapilavatthu. So we could say he was the provincial king of Kapilavatthu. All right, because the country was Sakya. That's the name of the country. It's the name of his family, Sakyan family, but it's also the name of the country where he was born. The Prince Siddhattha was born in the city of Kapilavatthu, which is in the country of Sakya, called Sakya, as a child of the family called Sakya. All right? So the country is called Sakya, the family are Sakya, and the city is Kapilavatthu. All right. So he was the king, he became the reigning king of Kapilavatthu at the age of 16. When he attained the age of 29, so that's 13 years, he was a king. After having enjoyed the comfort and luxury of a universal monarch, attended upon by a retinue of 40,000 princesses headed by the chief Queen Yasodhara, he became desirous one day of visiting the royal garden. And so he sent for the charioteer and he ordered him, "Charioteer, have the chariot ready. I will go out to visit the royal garden." And the charioteer said, "Very well." Then, when the prince was informed by the charioteer that the chariot was ready, they went by the chariot, and that was very nice. So the chariot was very gorgeous, and they headed for the royal garden in a grand procession. So they were not just the prince and the driver, but there was also a grand procession. Anyone remembers what is a procession? I showed to you procession, I'm pretty sure about that. Ray, would you remember what's a procession? No one remembers? I showed to you the procession of the people going to become a novice. Do you remember? There were the boys. They were coming in a row of people along a road with nicely fancy adorned elephants, horses, cows. Do you remember that? Lyric, do you remember I showed you that picture? Lyric, do you remember I showed you a picture of procession? Sorry?
No.
You don't remember that? Okay, so I'll show you a picture of procession again. Yes, it's very important for you to know what's a procession because it's a very important thing in Myanmar and in Sri Lanka as well. So look at that. This is a procession. It's a procession of bullock carts. Now I will show you a procession. Do you have a better one? Yes. You see, this is a procession. There are people walking one behind another at a festival, at a nice event. If it is a nice event, when the people are happy and they are celebrating something, or they are going to do something very nice, very pleasant, what they like to do, then that is called procession. Okay? If they do it because they don't like to do it, because they disagree with someone or with something, then that's called demonstration. But that's not important now. Now we are looking at procession. So when people are walking they're walking for a special reason. Yes, Ray? Right? Yes, please.
I can see. What I can see is how to allow someone into Zoom after removing them.
Excuse me, please. I didn't understand.
I cannot see your set screen. All I can see is how to allow someone into Zoom after removing them.
I see. That's all what you see? Okay. Then I probably shared with you the wrong screen. And now, can you see a picture?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Please, everyone, feel free to raise your hand and to tell me. Otherwise, how can I know that? Okay. So never be shy to tell me that something's wrong, because if you don't tell me, I cannot correct it. If you tell me, I will be most happy to correct it. All right. So thank you so much, Rere, that you told me. Okay, and now I'm showing you procession. So here, this is the procession of bullock carts. Okay, so you see, can everyone see bullock carts? These animals are called bullock because, like, from bull, it has become bullock. But of course, they are bulls. We could say they are ox, depends on whether they still have full body or not. Anyway, and there are carts behind, and between, of course, behind. So we call them bullock carts because they're carts dragged by the bull or by the oxen. All right, and then there is a procession of people. So you see the people are going, probably because they are going to ordain a young boy. I don't see the boy in the screen though. So this is also called procession. If we search procession in Sri Lanka, then we will learn very interesting things. I would like to show you a little video of that. In Sri Lanka, procession is called Perahera. Let me see if we can get a shorter video of that. Oh, there's a Perahera from 1964. I am curious to see that.
Byl navržený, aby zlepšil čištění zubů. Nakonec
We have there some advertisement from YouTube. In Czech language, Czech advertisement on shaving machine or whatever it is. Oh, this is for toothbrush. Nice. So we are there at the Perahera.
Candy Salon forgot everything during the Asana Perahera, climax of the island's annual Buddhist festival. Thousands took part in the procession to the temple.
The sound is not very clear, right? I will explain what he said. This is Vasana. Well, this could be actually Asalha. I think he's talking about Asalha Perahera. Anyway, it is Perahera. He explains that this is Perahera, which means procession in English, on a full moon day. And this procession is very special because you see there are elephants, but there is one big elephant probably coming later, or maybe you have seen it already. I think it's this one. And there, on that elephant, you can see there is Karandua. Karandua is a Sinhalese word. It is a relic casket. Casket means box. So it's a box with relics. It's a box with the Buddha's tooth. So the tooth that the Buddha had in his mouth, that tooth, I'm not sure whether this one exactly, but a tooth from the Buddha's mouth is there in the relic casket. What's a casket? It's a box, okay? So it's in the box for relics. We call it relic casket. So that relic is taken out from the relic chamber, from the relic room, from the relic monastery. They take this relic out, they put it on an elephant, and then they walk that elephant around the city of Kandy in Sri Lanka, in the country called Sri Lanka. It's a tiny little island to the south of India, Sri Lanka. So this is in the country called Sri Lanka, in the city called Kandy. And what you see is an elephant, is a large, beautiful elephant dressed in nice, fancy clothes. That's clothes. The elephant is there inside the clothes. You maybe see its eyes popping out at the head. And on the elephant, there is a little chamber or something, a place where the relics are kept. So as you can see, they're walking in a certain direction. In front of them, there are men who are dancing and singing to celebrate the Buddha. You see, they're beating drums. There are people around watching that procession, and this is procession, when the people are walking in a certain direction. These are monks.
Years ago, when an estimate was made, authorities claimed that there were more Buddhists in the world than the followers of any other religion. Borne along the processional route for the devout to behold is a jeweled casket containing the sacred tooth.
Yes.
It all illustrates the enduring appeal of a religion.
Okay, so here we have the casket. Do you remember he said the word casket? Anyone remembers he said the word casket? Someone does, someone doesn't. Now listen. He calls it jewel casket. Why does he call it jewel casket? Because the casket, the box, but this one is made of gold. This golden box, we call it casket when you keep relics inside. So this box, this golden box is
Recording stopped.
is covered, is adorned by jewels. That's why it's called jewel casket. But it is also called relic casket because there are relics inside. What's a relic? Relic is a bone or a tooth of a saint, of a very special person who died. And in this relic casket, in this golden box covered in jewels, in which there is a relic, there is a relic, there is a tooth of the Buddha. So this is a procession. All right. So YouTube is not very friendly for teaching Dhamma, but anyway, at least we got what we wanted. And now you know what's a procession. So the prince rode, the Bodhisattva prince rode in the chariot, which was gorgeous, like a celestial mansion. Celestial mansion means a palace in the heavens. Celestial means in the heavens. Mansion means palace. So the Bodhisattva prince rode in the chariot. Now you know already what's a chariot. And a kind of like bullock cart. But I suppose he had elephants or horses for that. So the Bodhisattva prince rode in the chariot, which was gorgeous like a palace in heavens. And he was going in the direction of the royal garden. How was he going there? In a grand procession. Now everybody knows what's a procession? Now Lyric, have you seen how procession looks like? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, now that's nice. So now everyone knows what's a procession. Now everyone hopefully will remember that the prince wanted to go to the royal garden, and that, close the mouse, all right, and that he went to the royal garden in a grand procession. So this was short time after the prince became the king. Look at that. We have the mention here that he became a king. Celebrated the coronation. Coronation is getting a crown. Getting a crown is called coronation. Coronation means to receive a crown. What kind of crown is that? It's the king's crown. So the Prince Bodhisattva celebrated receiving the king's crown, coronation. And that included raising the royal white umbrella. Why would you use a white umbrella? White umbrella is the symbol of being a king, because white umbrella is very luxurious. It is very noble. Therefore, having a white umbrella above yourself means it's a symbol which shows that you are noble, because you have an umbrella and it's white. Okay, over his head, and then sprinkling of cool water. Abhiseka means something else, but sprinkling cool water over him, and formal ascension, that means rising up, going up to the golden throne. You know what's a throne? Throne is the chair of the king. Okay, so cool water. Abhiseka literally means the coronation. So I don't know why this word here. I suppose it should be here. Anyway, maybe Abhiseka literally means sprinkling water. Something I'm not sure so much about that. But see if I can find it in the dictionary. Abhiseka. It's true. It is actually true. It is sprinkling water. But usually you would usually English people, English translators translate Abhiseka as coronation itself. So sprinkling of cool water is a symbol of purity, of being pure, being clean. You take a shower so that you're clean. And this is a symbol. What is a symbol? Symbol is showing something, playing something. Like when you play to be a prince and princess. Like when you play to be the king and queen. Like when you play to be the doctor and a patient. In that same way, people, adults, play. But when you play, you believe that it is a play. When adults play, they believe that it is true. That's the difference. But they are playing just like you play. So the cool water is a kind of symbol. It's a kind of play which shows you that he is pure. Now when you play as children, you know that it's a play. But when adults play, they don't know it. They think it is true. So they play sprinkling cool water as the symbol, as the play, showing that now the king is pure. Now the king is clean from all fault. He has no error. He didn't do anything wrong. He is perfect. That's the symbol. That's the play of this cool water. All right. So the same thing is raising the royal white umbrella. Again, that's playing. If you play to be the king, you know it's a play. But adults don't know it. Adults believe it, that it's true. Okay, so he became the king. That's very important. The information about 40,000 princesses, so 10,000 princesses Yasodhara assigned to Yasodhara as a personal suite, which means personal following. So like you have following in Facebook, here is following in the king, in the king's palace of the queen. And then 30,000 princesses became the attendants, the assistants, attendants, okay, for the Bodhisattva Siddhattha. So then, that's all for today. So hopefully you will remember until next week that the prince became a king. He was crowned as a king with a white umbrella and sprinkled by water, which are symbols of nobility, that he's noble, he's in luxury, and of purity. He has no fault. He's perfect. It's a symbol. It's not true. Okay? It's a play. And finally, hopefully you will remember that then, as the king of Kapilavatthu, as the provincial king, we could say a prince because he was not the king from all of the kingdom. You need to be careful. His father, the king Suddhodana, he was the king because he was the king of the Sakya country. The prince was king only of this Kapilavatthu city. So he was a kind of prince. But of course we say king because we are very proud of the prince Siddhartha. But in fact, he was a provincial king. Or we could say he was the prince because he was waiting until he becomes the king of the whole country when his father would die. In the end, he went outside, he saw dead people, dead man, he saw ill man, he saw an old man, and he decided to become a monk. And then as a monk, he became the Buddha, not the full king. But that's what we will talk about later. Thank you everyone for coming. May be happy, may be healthy, and may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana.
Hi everyone, pin back on you. And put your hands together and let's say thank you and goodbye, Venerable Sir, together. Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye, Venerable.
Venerable.
Thank you and goodbye, Venerable Sir.
Yes,